The weekend is a month away in LA. The starters were announced last night. Surprise, surprise. The King and the Chef led all-star voting in their respective conferences and will serve as team captains. The remaining starters will be Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, DeMar DeRozan, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, and DeMarcus Cousins. The starters were determined by a vote from fans, players, and a select group of media. Max Kell, starting with you. Were there any snubs on here?
There were. There were one of two guys who got snubbed for sure in the West, and it's because of a slavish devotion to this idiotic, like, well, a forward is a forward and a center is a center. We're basically playing positionless basketball at this point. Everyone stop. I understand not putting a guard instead of a center, but you got Anthony Davis on the West. That means you have a big on the West. DeMarcus Cousins is a fantastic player. But if the Pelicans had 2 of the 5 starters on the All-Star team, why are they only 3 or 4 games above 500 right now? Obviously, Anthony Davis should be there. But you can't tell me DeMarcus Cousins is more deserving of being an All-Star right now than Jimmy Butler or Russell Westbrook. They're better players. I mean, Cousins is really good. If he was as good as people as one of the 5 best players in the West, if they had 2 of them, the Pelicans, they'd be a lot better than they are. They don't, and that's the guy who I'd take off in favor of one of the guards.
I have no problem with anybody in the starting lineup. I think it's apropos. If you're going to sit up there and you're going to talk about ignore positions or whatever the case may be, Damian Lillard is somebody that I'm going to bring up later who I think continuously gets under-recognized. But it happens. You know what? Because sometimes you could be born at the wrong time. You got Steph Curry. I mean, excuse me, Russell Westbrook is not in the starting lineup. I mean, if Russell Westbrook isn't in there, Jimmy Butler shouldn't be in there. All I'm saying to you is that, of course, if you can't just sit up there and just say, all right, we'll pick the 5 best players. What if all of them are guards? You're just going to ignore everybody over 6'6"? I mean, that's just not how it works.
Stephen A.
No. I'm saying hypothetically
Anthony
speaking,
Davis.
you can't. You're not listening. I'm saying to you, you're not going by. I'm saying hypothetically speaking, if you went by positions, there's a lot of people you could do that to. There's a reason that you're picking forwards. There's a reason that you're picking guards. Personally speaking, highlight the center position. I have no problem with that whatsoever, because when you go to the negotiating table and you're trying to get your dollars, these are the kind of components that play a role in deciphering what kind of contract you are worthy of as well. So it's something to be considered. But I look at it from the standpoint, you got the all-star starters. Every name on there is somebody I would have picked for the starting lineup. I have no problem with it whatsoever. I don't think anybody got snubbed from the starting lineup.
I'll give you another play. First of all, I wouldn't say just take 5 guards. But if you already have a big, you can make Anthony Davis the center. Kevin Durant can play power forward. I mean, what difference does it make which forward you play nowadays? And you could move one of the guards to forward and then put Russell Westbrook on the team. But even if you want to go with someone who's quote-unquote a big, even though he's not that tall, Draymond Green deserves it before DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, what I'm saying to you is this. You have to take into consideration not just their skill set, but what their responsibilities are. For example, hypothetically speaking, if I'm sitting here, I'm 6'1", 195, all right, Max? If I played in the NBA and the coach put me on the basketball court and he said, excuse me, I need you to defend Steven Adams, what the hell you think's going to happen to me? I'm going to get destroyed and beat up. I might not even last the first quarter going up against somebody like that. But if you put me on the perimeter and I get to shoot wide open shots because LeBron is my teammate or Kevin Durant's my teammate, and you keying on them and I'm getting open shots, suddenly I look better. What I'm saying is you have to take into account the roles, not just the size of an individual, but the roles and the responsibility they have on the basketball court to gauge their worthiness. All of that comes with it as well.